friends, for this DIY, I had thoughts about making an autumn banner. And I went to the Dollar Tree and I saw that they actually had a DIY banner kit, and it was perfect. It was even better than what I had imagined, so I picked that up, and I thought I would make the banner spelling out autumn. So it was perfect because autumn has 6 letters and there's 6 pieces of burlap, and it already has the eyelets in, and then you get the twine so that you can connect them. And at the Dollar Tree, I also picked up these stencils, so I'll use those to complete the word autumn. And I had these cardstock, actually they're scrapbook pages, and I like these 2 colors because where I'm going to place it, I don't want to put a lot of oranges. I wanted to keep it more the browns and a little bit lighter tone. So I'm going to alternate these as the background on each piece and then put the stencil. So let's get started. The next step is that I think what I'm going to do is use these templates here. And this I printed out at a great site that I will link below. It's called firstpalette.com, and they have wonderful, wonderful templates of all different types. If this was something when my daughter was little, I certainly would have gone and used this site. It's fantastic, has lots of ideas for kids' crafts, so I highly recommend it. So what I'm doing right now is just taking the assorted leaves, and I think I'm either going to use this one here or this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple of these out and then try it on the burlap itself to see about the sizing. So these are the 3 templates that I think are going to work real well with my letters. So the next step is I'm going to trace these designs onto my cardstock, my scrapbooks paper, and I'll cut those out, and then we'll go ahead and glue them onto the burlap. Okay, so I've traced each of the 3 shapes that I want my leaf design, so I'm going to go ahead and cut 3 strips so that I can double the image. So I only have to cut it out 1 time, so I know that I'm going to make it easier on myself. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut these in 3s. So now I'm taking my cardstock and I'm doubling it. And then all I have to do is I have to just cut my design out 1 time, and I'll have 2 images. My next step is going to be placing my letters on each of the squares to spell autumn. And what I highly recommend is to double check your spelling, because I have done projects and after I've gotten things down, then I go ahead and step back and I realize that I've misspelled. So it just, that way you're safeguarding. Okay, so we've got it complete. Let's go ahead and hang it up. It brings that fall look into your home. Okay everyone, for this DIY, I'm going to be making a table centerpiece. And if you had seen my Christmas centerpiece. I'm actually using the same tray that I had picked up at Goodwill. So when I originally got this tray, and it was only $2 or $3, it was a very dark color with flowers in the middle. And I didn't want that, so I painted it white. And so that will be the tray that will put everything in. And then I went to Dollar Tree, which I really love for anytime that I'm doing my creations because they have so many nice things. They had this, which hopefully if you have an inspiration to do something like this, they will still have these wonderful fall foliage. And I like this because it has the cotton, and I'm really going with a lighter theme. I didn't really want a lot of orange in the display, so that's why I love this. So hopefully they will still have this for you. And then I wanted a nice tall vase, so this was from the Dollar Tree as well, because I'm actually going to cut off the ends because this is way too long, but I thought the tall vase would be the best. And then I got this wonderful sign, and I thought that I would try to actually take it apart somehow. I'm not sure how that's going to work, because this is one actually that you could use during Thanksgiving too, but I didn't want all of the different signs. I wanted them separated, so I'm going to try to do that. And then I got this. I thought this might be interesting. It's actually glitter vase filler, and I thought that might be interesting to put for a little bling into the vase with these flowers. And then I also got candles. You know how much I love candles, so I got a nice tall votive candle. And then I got I like the glass of this candle. And then I got one that is a butter pecan candle, and I like the color. So I got those three. And then I'm actually boiling some water right now for my tea that I'm going to use to stain this. So it's an acorn, and I guess it was made to be maybe a napkin holder, or maybe you could hold notes in it, but I'm going to use it in the display, so we will see how it will stain with the tea. I've never stained anything using tea, but I've seen it and it looks really good, and I think it's going to give just the effect that I'm looking for. And I wanted to add some fresh flowers, and these happen to be blooming outside, so I wanted to bring that in. And I kind of like this because it actually, a few weeks ago, it was pure white, but now I'm seeing that it's actually changing into a brownish green color, so that might be nice to add in this arrangement. So I hear my water is ready to make my tea, so we will move to the next step. Okay, I forgot to show you that I had first thought about getting some wrapping paper to line the bottom of this tray, and I couldn't find any in the right color. So I found this contact paper at Dollar Tree, and there's a very light beige pattern, and I didn't want it to really interfere with the display itself, but I did want to cover the bottom of this tray. So I'm going to cut it to size, and then we'll start assembling. I had cut the contact paper to fit the tray, and instead of peeling off the backing and having it adhere, I just put some Scotch tape because this is not going to be permanent. So I'm just going to want some Scotch tape to just lightly hold it down so that it won't be popping up. And of course, when I have everything here on the tray, then we don't have to worry about this coming up. But I like this because it's not going to take away from what I have inside. Next step is going to be cutting these branches and then using these ball fillers, and we'll see how that looks. Now I'm going to add these glitter balls into the vase, and I'm going to add all of them. I think we definitely needed all, and that's really pretty. I like that little bit of sparkle, and it has the different shades of copper and gold. So now I'm going to take my branches and I'm just going to stick them in. Okay, so I've got those in the jar, and I may work with the height. I didn't really want to have to cut off any of the parts of the branch, but we'll see how it looks once we get more of the design together. So my next step is going to be staining this little acorn. Okay, now we're going to try this tea stain. So we are doing this together because I have never tried this process. And it doesn't look like much of a stain here. And I don't know why I'm using green tea. So maybe I had to use a little bit of a stronger tea. I'm not sure. I will keep trying and applying coats and see if there's a difference. Okay, as we know, not all craft projects work out. So I've scrapped that idea and I grabbed some of my acrylic brown paint. So I'm just going to do like a paint rub on this and see if I can get a nice effect that I'm looking for. Okay, I like this a lot better. This is really the color that I was going for, so this works well. So I'm going to finish staining. I really like the effect because you can actually see the grains of wood. I wanted to leave it like that instead of having it one uniform color. So we're going to have to let that dry, of course, but we will add that, and I'm just going to place it in there now just to get an idea. I forgot that I had gotten some other things because when I looked, I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to fill my tray up with? But then I noticed I had a bag from Dollar Tree and I got this adorable owl. And amazing what you can find there. So I'm going to add that in, and then I got a cloth, a couple of different colors of the burlap pumpkins and some pine cones that I had saved from last Christmas. I always keep it in a craft bag. So I'm going to actually start placing the items with the candles in the tray. So friends, I am just putting the items inside the tray, and I'm going to move them around and redecorate and just see how I like them the best. I'm going to have to figure out what am I going to do with my sign, because I definitely want to add that. I'm going to try to see if I could possibly cut some of these strips, these word strips apart, and then put it into the tray so we have a fall message. Okay, my friends, so here is the finished centerpiece, and I think there's just enough on here, and I was able to steal one of these acorns that I have here in the front from another display in my house to add just a little bit more. So I hope this inspires you to create something beautiful for your home, to bring a little bit of autumn inside. So have a good day, and until next time, peace and love.